Ms. Robinson, you are suing your mother for paternity fraud and are here to prove that Mr. Moore is your biological father, even though your mother put another man's name on your birth certificate. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Ms. Harris, you're certain Mr. Moore is not your daughter's father and claim her case of paternity fraud is outrageous.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you plan to prove that today.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Moore is currently waiting outside the courtroom. We will hear from him in a moment. But first, Ms. Robinson, why did you wait 36 years to come to court?
Honestly, Your Honor, I don't feel that I'm the one that waited the 36 years. I feel that my mom waited 36 years to help me find who my father is. And I have always, tried to ask her about my father. I guess it was a part of her past she didn't just want to bring up. So it always got pushed to the back burner. Or I was told, get the hell out of her face, leave her alone, don't ask any questions about it, you know who your dad is.
She's lying. I've always told her who her dad was. And to my knowledge,
who was supposed to be my dad?
It's not Mr. Moore. I had already moved on.
But the other guys that she says is my father, I look nothing like.
And you don't look like,
and
she doesn't look like him either.
So
I look like
I've never kept secrets from her, Your Honor. I've always been honest to the best of my ability
That's
to
not
her.
True. We were supposed to come here 3 weeks ago, and my mom, for some reason, she was nervous.
It wasn't that I was nervous. I just didn't want to come here at that time to listen to any more of their lies.
Yeah, nobody wanted to deal with the past, but I'm the past.
Because,
I need a
Ms.
dad.
Harms, in your mind, you're saying, I know who your father is and I already told you.
Yes, ma'am. I had already moved on. He is not your father.
When you say you had already moved on, explain that. You're saying you moved on from
Mr. Moore. I never thought he was a father because I had already moved on, Your Honor.
So you're saying you got pregnant after you already moved on away from him, so there's no way he could be your biological father, so you didn't even feel like there was any reason to entertain that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Robinson, why are you so convinced that he is a possibility?
Your Honor, I'm convinced because I've heard a lot of rumors in the small town we're from in Arkansas. Everybody says that this man is my dad. He's always came to me and said he's my dad.
Really?
But the thing was, I was always being sent with the other man. So if
excuse me, Your Honor, that's another lie. She was never been sent.
Yes, I was
with
being
another
sent
man.
To another man.
No, you were not. That is a lie, Your Honor. I don't know where she's getting this from.
Who was my grandma all my life?
Your Honor, what is she saying? This rumor has it. That's okay.
Yeah.
What, does she think she looked like Mr. Moore?
Yes, I do.
Why? Because nose? She's got a normal nose, Your Honor.
No,
and
it's not a normal nose, Mom.
When did you first hear about Mr. Moore being a possible biological father?
The first time I heard about it was kind of weird because I was young and I was just told that he's not your father.
Your Honor, excuse me, Your Honor, if she thought that, why would it take her 36 years?
Because no one lets me talk.
Wait, I want her to finish the story because
nobody lets me talk. I mean, never. What kid doesn't want to know their father? What little girl doesn't want to know her daddy?
So I want to understand this. You were told specifically, Mr. Moore is not your father.
Yes, by my mother.
Did you ask the question? How did this come up?
She had just told me one day, because, I used to go back and forth from Michigan to Arkansas. So I guess she felt that if I went down to Arkansas, I might see him.
Your Honor,
so she came to me and told me that if Vernon ever came to you and told you that he was your dad, tell him to get out your face, leave you alone, and he's not your father. So.
And that's Mr. Moore?
Mr. Moore, yes.
So you were told as a child, if someone comes up to you and says he's your biological father, just tell him to get out your face.
Get out my face, leave me alone, you're not my dad. And it's like, who is Vernon? Who is Mr. Moore?
Did you ask that question?
Not at the time. I was a kid. I just listened to what she said. My whole life has been very empty. It really has.
I understand. I often say in this courtroom, when people say to me, I did not have my father and I felt like there was a missing piece,
and it really does.
I say it because I have had my father and he is loving and kind and my #1 fan, and I could not imagine my life without him in it.
And that's all I want.
And when you say, I never had that, I feel for you because I know what you're missing. I really do, and I see the tears in your eyes, even at 36.
Other people take it for, I'm glad that you can say you had your father, but you have empathy to know how I could feel about it.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of people have their fathers and they'll look at me like, I don't even like my daddy. Girl, you better without him. No, I could be better with him because I was looking for love in all the wrong places. I sat up and got with somebody at 17, about to get out of school, had a baby. That stopped me from going to the Air Force. Really just ruined my whole life. I love my daughter. She didn't ruin it. I did by making a mistake like they did. I'm 36 years old. I deserve to have a father. My kids deserve a grandfather. My grandson deserves a great-grandfather. I never said she didn't love me. But if you really love your kid, my love is a little deeper than that. And I'm gonna do anything for mine.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but don't believe that sympathy role. This kid, her and Mr. Moore are compulsive liars.
How am I a compulsive liar when
Everything
I never
I
had
did,
a
I raised
dad?
my daughter. I got pregnant at 15.
How is that a lie?
I raised her by myself without a dad. Yes, she has the right to know who her dad is, Your Honor, ma'am. But I don't think it's Mr. Moore.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell.
Okay, I wanted to submit some evidence, Your
Ron, may I see
Honor,
that,
that
please?
shows, that I think helps me prove that he's my father.
Okay.
First, I have
Gray hair.
a birth certificate.
This
Okay.
is a birth certificate, you said?
Yes, that was my original birth certificate right there. On the father's spot, it has a signature. Now, when I looked at that, I seen that the signature looked new. It didn't look as old as my mom's signature on there. But I'm a kid, so I went along with it. Last year, I needed to get a new ID. So I go to get a new ID, and they told me that my original birth certificate there was not good enough. I needed to get the new one. When I got the new birth certificate, it did not have a father's name on it. Not at all.
Really?
So that led me to believe.
Your Honor, where's this new birth certificate?
I sent it
I've
in.
never heard of it until now, Your Honor.
I sent it in. It
She's
does
lying
not
again.
have a. So that's the other man's signature on that birth certificate.
I know that handwriting. Hey,
He told me he did not sign a birth certificate for me.
Long time ago.
Who are you saying forged it, Miss Arms?
Miss Robinson.
Oh, you think your daughter forged
Me?
a name?
Yes, ma'am.
You gave me the
I
birth
gave you that
certificate
with
when
no
I was
signature.
12.
I didn't give you
to
that
work
with
at
no
the beauty
signature like
salon.
that.
Mom, it had a
Of course,
signature on it when you gave it
I didn't
to
give
me.
you that when you were 12, Your Honor. When they got a certain age,
We start
18
working.
and up, that's when I start giving my kids the birth certificate.
So wait, when you give it to her, does it have a signature or doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
No, ma'am. Whatever.
And I also have evidence why I think we look alike.
So
You
this
have
is
not
a
supplied me with the
picture of
file. Me and Mr. Moore.
you on the left and Mr. Moore on the right.
And I also have another picture of our noses, Your Honor, when I was younger.
Oh, Lord.
This
'Cause I
is
had no
side
pictures
by
of
side.
anybody. Every time I look in the mirror, ever since I looked at his pictures, I feel like Mr. Moore with a wig on. So if that ain't what it is, I need to be proved wrong today.
And Ms. Robinson, you have premature graying,
Yes, that's why I covered it today.
and you say Mr. Moore had it.
All over his head, ever since the first time I ever saw him when I was 12. That man had gray hair already.
And so you've submitted evidence that states individuals who have a family history of premature gray hair have a higher risk of having premature gray hair themselves.
I don't have a daddy to compare that with. I don't know his history. So how would I know it came from my father? So I want to know who my father is. I feel this man is my father. He's saying he's my father. God, I look like him. What more do you want?
How did this relationship with Mr. Moore begin? What was your relationship with him?
Young, dumb, and stupid. My mother was never there, and I'm running around young like a chicken with her head cut off, searching for love, and got caught up in a web that I'm regretting to this day because throughout all this,
Bad kids.
my daughter has suffered, and I'm here today to try to help her out and stop some of this suffering.
But she don't think he's my dad.
No, not at all.
But you admit to a sexual relationship with him.
Yes, ma'am.
How long was this relationship?
Oh, Your Honor, I'm so old now.
You know, this is the thing, Your Honor, this is what it is. Everybody put it to the back of their
wasn't
mind.
that long. I would say maybe
So they don't want to think about it.
years at the most.
Actually, Mr. Moore has joined us.
Thank God.
Today, he is here
Thank
in
God.
court.
Oh,
And
thank
Ron,
God.
I'd like to have you escort Mr. Moore into the court.
I did.
It should.
Thank you.
Witness stand.
Don't think you just a mess. If he always told me he was my daddy.
Gray hair there, make it
But
your
if you
dad.
want to be my daddy, you should have been there.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us. You know, we're here for Jennifer, Miss Robinson, and she's indicated through her testimony that you believe you are her biological father. Do you?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
You do?
Yes.
Tell the court why.
Well, Your Honor, she used to babysit her sister's kids, and I used to go there a lot, and we were having sex a lot. It wasn't no little bit. It's true. And so A few months later, I know a little pouch on her belly. I said, are you pregnant? She said, yeah. I said, could it be mine? She said, it could be, maybe not. Which I already knew about somebody.
That is a lie, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
At least
How do you
you
remember a
tried.
pouch?
Yeah, at least.
Boy, please.
You about like 5
What are you
months.
talking about?
Hold up,
She
hold
ain't
up.
yours.
Your Honor,
That
would
gray hair
can
you got don't make her yours either.
Can you ask her?
Try
Okay,
some
Miss
hair.
Harms, let him finish his testimony.
Later on, I heard that her father said whoever got her pregnant, he was gonna do something to him. I kind of backed off a little bit. I wasn't afraid, but I backed off. I wanted to be in her life. But she took her away when she was like 4 or 5, then got married, ran off. I always have said she was my daughter. Cause she looked
You
like
just
your-
believed it.
I believed it.
And because
I
of the
was there.
time, because you were there, and when she got pregnant, you knew it was around the time that you all were having all that sex
Yes.
as teenagers.
I was there a lot.
And you,
Young and dumb.
Young and dumb and wild.
okay, that's enough of that testimony. We can move on
Yeah.
to the next point. I get it.
Yeah.
So the point was, you remember the time frame.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. I hate that I wasn't in her life a lot. You know, I missed that. You know what I'm saying?
Because I really miss you.
And I can see that that hurts
if
you.
you are.
Yeah.
Did you try to be involved in Miss Robinson's life?
Yes, I did.
How?
I talked to her grandmother a lot. Like one time, I said, "How Jennifer doing?" And she said, "But she needs some shoes." I gave her $50 in. I wasn't making a lot of money, but she out here to back me up. But then
And
they
so
not
you
together
would
now.
inquire about Miss
Yeah, I
Robinson.
would.
So earlier in Miss Robinson's testimony, she said that at 7 years old or so, her mother basically said to her, when you're in Arkansas, if a man named Vernon, which is you, Mr. Moore, comes up to you and says that he's your biological father, tell him to get out your face and leave you alone. Why do you think she'd say that?
'Cause I didn't have anything to do with her no more.
And when I seen him when I was 12, that's exactly what I told him.
Yeah,
You remember that day?
I remember.
He pulled up on me. I was walking to the store. He said, "Hey, girl, I'm your daddy."
You said, I'm
said-
your daddy?
Yeah.
I said, "What's your name?" He said, "Vernon." I'm like, "Oh, that's Vernon. You ain't my daddy. My mama told me to tell you to leave me alone." He said, "Girl, I'm your daddy. Your mama crazy." He handed me like $200-something. I went and bought fireworks and
I believe
pizza.
that.
Miss Holmes.
That was a lot of money to me.
Cause like I said, I broke a heart. Okay, that's what it's all about.
You
I
say you
believe
broke
that.
her heart.
That probably what caused I moved out with somebody else, you know. And plus, I've been hearing about who she was sleeping with this and that. You know, I was too. So I just moved on.
And so how are you feeling when you hear this testimony? When you hear this man, your whole life, he thought he was your biological father. He even wrote up on you and said, I'm your daddy. How does that make you feel?
I feel happy about it because somebody's actually trying to claim me when I feel like I was just a piece of trash on the
That's
side
good.
nobody wanted to claim. I feel like I look like you.
I agree.
Clear as day.
And I'm sorry I wouldn't live your life a lot.
And I really want to know. I really want to know. This is the
And
end
we
right here.
have those results for you.
Oh, Lord.
Good.
Yes.
And no matter
Oh, I'm nervous. I'm nervous.
The envelope,
Lord.
please, Ron.
I hope he is my daddy. I really do. Because I really need a dad. I really, really do.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Robinson versus Harms, when it comes to 36-year-old Jennifer Robinson, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Moore, you are not her father.
Oh, my God. Dude, who is my daddy?
Who did I tell you was? You the gray hair gonna do
I would
it.
help you with 2 months. It's
That
not
is
just
so
what you're
wrong.
talking about.
Are
you mean
you
men too much?
serious?
It was
I
too
can't
much.
believe
You don't know my life
It-
history, so don't speak on it. Because I wasn't with no whole lot of men. You was just the first one way down
God.
to 15. That's why you
I cannot
great.
believe he is not my
I tried
dad.
to tell you, he ain't your dad. But no, I'm lying.
I cannot.
So let's go get the other one and come right back here and do this again.
Then you gotta
Listen.
come back again.
My courtroom is always open for you, Miss Robinson. If there is someone else you'd like to
Serious,
test.
Vernon? I'm really just
They
nobody's
still
child.
love you, 'cause they said it was.
Oh my God, I cannot believe this.
We have counseling for you and resources. I wish you all the very best of luck. Please help your daughter.
Yes, ma'am.
Help her.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Court is adjourned. Mr. Alexander, you are suing your ex-girlfriend for $40 for the cost of the administration fee to legally remove your name from her 4-month-old daughter, Jariah's birth certificate, because there is absolutely no way you are her biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Stewart, you claim that Mr. Alexander is Jariah's biological father and say you're devastated that he would want to remove his name from her birth certificate.
Yes, Your Honor.
In fact, you state that his negligent behavior has caused you and your 2 children to become homeless, and you've asked the court to award you $1,500 for child care expenses.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Alexander, tell the court, why should your name be removed?
Your Honor, I have several reasons why my name should be removed from the birth certificate. For one night we were in the bed chilling. I seen text messages and several phone calls from this guy named Dexter. She wouldn't answer the phone when I was in the room. I guess she would wait until maybe I left or whatever, so that's kind of a suspicion for me.
So you saw text messages
Right.
coming in on her phone?
Right.
But you never questioned her about it?
Yeah, I asked her about it, and she told me, like, don't worry about it, like, basically, like, it's none of my business. So that's the reason why I have a doubt. Also, a couple times when we were supposed to go bowling to, like, a, pregame bowling or whatever. We got drunk or whatever before we left and actually went bowling. And she told me that basically I was too drunk, like, to bowl. Basically took me home with the kid and like stay here and watch the kids while she went out somewhere else and didn't come home till about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. So that's why I'm in doubt too.
Because this was during the window of conception.
Right.
So you feel like she was cheating on you during the time
Correct.
Jariah was conceived.
Correct.
Is that true, Ms. Stewart?
No, Your Honor, it is not. And I'm not even sure why he denies. I mean, I didn't tell him that I was pregnant until I was about 2.5 months, but I didn't tell him because we were rocky at that time. It wasn't a solid foundation, so I didn't want to make it even worse by bringing the baby into the situation.
So, Mr. Alexander, when Ms. Stewart told you that she was pregnant, did you have doubt instantly?
I did. I did have doubt because when she told me she was pregnant, we were actually on a 3-month break, and we got back together like 2 months after that, and then that's when she told me she was pregnant. So we didn't have sex on that 3-month break, so how could you be pregnant? By me, anyway, is what I'm saying.
So you feel like the time didn't add up?
Right.
So, Ms. Stewart, were you intimate with Mr. Alexander during that 3-month break?
Yes, I was.
So you say you were?
Yes. I don't understand how he doesn't say that. Every time we're on a break, it's not necessarily a break because we still have sex, so it's not really a break.
So were you cheating?
No, Your Honor, I was not. Let me tell you what happened. So I started feeling that he was cheating on me. And I went online to, I guess, try to see if there was a way that you could tell if your partner is cheating on you. And so I saw this website that says 7 ways to know if your partner is cheating on you. And every single one, he was doing everything that it said. And then at the bottom of the link, it said that there was a way you could put a tracking device on his phone to see if he was, the text messages. So I put it on there, and sure enough, there was a girl that he was talking to on the tracking device.
So you put a tracking device on his phone?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have proof of that? Did you bring anything
Yes,
to court?
I do,
You
yes.
did? Jerome, let me see that, please. And so this here is a log
Yes.
of the calls that were sent to your phone.
Yes.
Walk me through this.
Okay, so the first one at the bottom, the 7:08 p.m., that is when he was gone. He told me that he was at his aunt's house, and obviously you can see there he's talking to a girl
So
right there.
at 7:08 p.m., his phone got a text from a number that's not yours
Yes.
that says, I'm looking forward to tonight.
Yes.
I'm telling him I'm working late.
Yes.
And then at 7:15 p.m., me too, I can't wait to see your fine booty. Mr. Alexander,
Yes.
do you recognize this text?
I don't, Your Honor, not at all.
Of
Absolutely
course
not.
Of course you wouldn't.
So you're saying this is not your phone?
It's not me. I didn't text.
Do you
I don't recall any of
recognize
that.
the text, of course, baby, I'm on my way now at 10:17? You didn't write that either?
No, Your Honor.
So
I
you're
didn't.
saying this app is completely faulty
Correct.
and this is not your phone?
Correct.
And you weren't going after anybody else's fine booty?
That's correct, Your Honor.
So, Miss Stewart, I'm trying to understand what this all has to do with Dexter. Because if we're being completely honest, even if this is his phone log, and he was going after someone else or dating someone else or cheating, that would not have anything to do with the paternity of Jariah.
Okay, so after I found all of this, I decided to be the same way as him. I came up with a plan with my best friend. I changed her name in my phone to Dexter, and I was texting her pretending I was talking to a dude just so that he would think I was cheating because he cheated.
I've seen the text message about can I come see you? How you doing?
Yeah, it was fake.
like that's her man when I'm supposed to be her man. So that's, like I said, that's doubts of cheating right there to me. If you ask me, that's the whole reason why I think.
Well,
I believe she was cheating.
the only reason I did that is because I saw him cheating first.
So you're saying the entire thing was just fake. It was a hoax. It was something you were doing to make him feel badly for what you thought he was doing.
Just because I wanted him to feel like how he made me feel when I saw those text messages. I just wanted him to see how it felt to, be cheated on.
Mr. Alexander, you brought a witness. I'd like to hear from her. Ma'am, please step up. State your name for the record.
Courtney Alexander.
And you are?
I am Mr. Alexander's sister.
His sister.
Yes.
Ma'am, what do you have to add to this situation? What do you know about this?
Well, Miss Stewart and I have been friends for over 15 years, and we've always talked and told each other secrets about, having backup plans as far as if you have a boyfriend, keeping one on the side for when your boyfriend makes you mad, you can, just go talk to other guys or whatever. So as far as this guy goes, it's not a hoax. They actually hang out all the time.
No, that's false.
Your Honor,
Okay.
he calls and texts her phone several times throughout the night, 1 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock in the morning. Like I said, that she don't answer the phone, that's kind of a suspicion. A person who calls you at 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning, especially a male, he only wants one thing, and that's probably a booty call, so.
What about your booty?
That's what I'm thinking.
Your fine booty you're looking for,
Also, I just want to add in that we've actually gone out to meet guys together.
I have no idea what she's talking about.
You've gone out to meet guys with
Yes.
Miss Stewart.
Recently, yes, we have. They just had a little break also, and she thought he was cheating, so we went out to go hang out with guys.
Your Honor, she's also told me several times that when we be in the heat of an argument, that the baby's not mine, so.
I said that one time.
Therefore,
one
I
time
have
did.
doubt.
So you do admit that you said it, Miss Stewart?
Yes, one time, yes, I did say that. My words was, I wish that she wasn't yours so that I could be done with you.
Thank you so much for your testimony, ma'am. You may be seated.
Thank you.
Now that Jariah's been here, what has Mr. Alexander done to step up to the plate?
He doesn't do anything. All my doctor's appointments, he's only came to, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Out of all of my doctor's appointments, he's only came to the finding out the gender, and then the last two. I've gone to all of them by myself. I'm sorry.
And this hurts you so much because you thought he would be there?
Yeah, and she doesn't deserve that. Look at her. She's so cute. Why would you deny her? It just doesn't make sense to me. And He doesn't do anything. One time, I asked him if he could make her a bottle. He refused to. So I gave Jariah to him, went to go make the bottle, and when I come back, she's on the bed crying. Because he doesn't hold her, he
Your
doesn't
Honor,
want to do anything.
You don't want to hold this beautiful baby?
I'm not gonna take care of something that I don't know for sure if it's not mine.
Something?
No, a baby, I'm sorry. A baby that I don't know for sure if
Let's
it's not
get it
mine.
right.
Right,
It's a beautiful, innocent little baby.
right.
Whether she's yours or not, if she needs a bottle, you could give it to her.
Right.
You're right, I could.
But you're saying the doubt, the sincere doubt that you carry around is preventing you from connecting with this child.
Right.
Ms. Stewart, do you understand how the tit for tat has come back to haunt you?
Yes.
You get that, right?
I do. It was a dumb mistake.
Do you think he can be a good father?
Yes, Your Honor. He can be a great father. We have another kid, a son, and he treats him perfect. And he claims him, and he...
But he won't give the baby a bottle?
Right.
What is going on?
Your Honor, I even have these text messages from him.
May I see that, Jerome? These are...
text messages from me and him. I asked him if he can watch our kids, and he clearly refused.
So, first you say, I need a favor. You're gonna be busy Sunday or Monday.
Yeah.
And then he says, I don't know, it depends. And then you say, okay, well, I need you to watch the kids while I get my hair done. He says, I'll watch Jacoby, but Jariah, hell no, find her daddy.
Yes, Your Honor, that's how I felt.
Why?
I stated before, if I'm gonna take care of Jariah, I wanna be sure that she's mine before I get too attached to her, and then it turns out that she's not mine. I don't want it to go that way.
Are you being spiteful, Mr. Alexander? Just to watch her with her brother? What would that do to you? It just seems a little spiteful. So, Ms. Stewart, you've come to court and you have a countersuit as well.
Yes.
You are asking the court to award you money for child care expenses.
Yes.
Did you bring a list of things for the court?
I have, yes.
Receipts? Jerome, let me see that, please. You've made a list of child care expenses, $168 in diapers, $120 in wipes, $675 in formula, baby clothes, totaling $1,563. Am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor. No, Your Honor, it really hurts just to be alone. I just don't like the whole situation. I mean, right now I'm homeless. I don't have anywhere to stay because of him, because he got us kicked out of our old place, and now he's denying our daughter, and everything's just all messed up just because of him and because of the stupid lie.
None of this would even be going on if she wasn't talking to Dexter. That's the whole reason why all this is going on, because she was talking to Dexter, and that's what got me in doubt.
I see so clearly that if you're gonna try to continue to have a relationship with a person, especially have a child with him at some later date, that it definitely isn't the right strategy.
Right.
Right now, he really doesn't know the truth, in part because you planted the seed of doubt in his mind.
Yeah, I understand.
Mr. Alexander, I still don't agree with the way you've behaved towards this innocent, beautiful little child, especially considering that she's the mother of another one of your children. So, I'm ready to get the results because I want to see where you two are going to go from here after we figure out what the truth is as it relates to Jariah's paternity. Jerome, I'm ready. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Alexander versus Stewart, when it comes to 4-month-old Jariah Alexander, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Alexander, you are her father. You feel vindicated, Ms. Stewart? I see you are feeling very emotional over there.
I'm just happy at the end that the results came back like I said that they would.
And how do you feel, Mr. Alexander, now that you know
well,
for sure?
Now that I know for sure that that's my daughter, I will step up to the plate, be a man, and take care of her. I will definitely do that.
Good, good. Speaking of that fact, you asked for a name change. We don't need a name change now.
Right.
Because she's in fact your little girl.
Right.
With that said, I am dismissing your claim for the $40. Are we clear?
No.
Judgment for the defendant on that. As for your counterclaim, ma'am, you were claiming you spent $1,563 on child care expenses. You provided receipts and a log as to what you spent.
Yeah.
Since, in fact, Mr. Alexander has been determined to be Jariah's biological father, you are entitled to half that amount.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Under the law. And Mr. Alexander, you should give that to her without issue. The amount is $781.50 judgment for the defendant. Clear?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, with that said, I always encourage our families, our parents, even people that just have to co-parent together, that it's better to do it voluntarily.
Yeah.
If you can.
Yeah.
It's your child. You have 2 children together now. But they shouldn't have to ride this roller coaster of emotions, disappointment, and doubt, because now the DNA has given us the proof. Mr. Rich,
Go back up.
you came here to get an answer.
I have not called him lately.
I don't care, man.
I mean, hey,
my
phone says it all.
Shit.
Calm down.
Your Honor,
Calm
that was
down.
a nice speech. That was a nice speech, but that's all it was, a speech.
Sloppy,
if
dog.
if Leanne could have had it her way and now one of us know, we wouldn't be here today.
At the end of the day, you
How
a
long you
liar. I've
pregnant?
been telling you this since I was
Nice
pregnant.
wood, that's
I've been telling you I need a DNA test since I was pregnant.
No,
At the end
I
of the day,
told
it's all
you,
coming out
I
today.
told
'Cause
you
what-
I wanted a
Can we just
DNA
bring on the
test.
next person?
And you say,
Listen.
Honestly, I'm ready to get this all out now.
Listen.
I'm tired.
I told
Miss
you.
Holman, Miss Holman,
Yes.
look at me. Look at me. I see you breaking down. That's okay.
Truth coming out.
Not about the truth.
Listen.
I'm not a bad person. I do bad things.
Look at me.
There's a difference.
Look at me. You've admitted to where you've gone wrong, and you've also allowed us to see a little piece of what your real heart is. You think we don't know you are confused and just out there riding on a wing and a prayer? I'm here with you and for you. Mr. Rich, I am so happy you turned around and came back. And I do want you to understand, I know how painful this is for you. I don't want you to get so angry that then you become the person you know you aren't. You have come in here with honor, maturity. You have shown a level of unconditional love that everybody in here wished they could have. And in that testimony, she said, you are a great man, and she's never known a man as good as you, so much so that she didn't think she was good enough for you. That's the part. Just stick with us, okay? We're gonna get through this. So, Ms. Holman and Mr. Drumgold, throughout the testimony, it came out that there were other possible fathers.
Correct.
Can you tell me about these other possible fathers?
Well, just like with Mr. Rich, I told him I didn't remember whether we were together around the time of September, which was around his birthday time. Mr. Matthews was the same thing. The only difference with this is Mr. Rich knew about him. Mr. Rich did not know about Matthews.
All right. Well, Mr. Matthews is here, and I'd like to hear from him. Jerome, will you please escort Mr. Matthews into the courtroom?
Sir, have you come with me. You a
Calm down. Mr. Rich, calm down. Calm down. Just take a
It
deep
is what
breath.
it is,
Listen,
though.
you want the truth? That's what I'm trying to get for you, but you gotta let me get it. You want to know? I'm giving you the truth, but you've got to sit through and you've got to listen. We cannot go to a better place
Man, I
with
could have
any
made a
of this.
list.
Listen, we here now and we're gonna get through this. We can't get to the other side. We cannot get to the other side unless we go through. We're going through. Mr. Matthews, thank you for joining us.
Yes, ma'am.
We've heard significant testimony today as we begin to discuss the paternity of baby Alani. I'd like to understand what your relationship was with Ms. Holman. She said she was intimate with you as well during the window of time when Alani was conceived.
Yes, ma'am.
And you agreed to that.
Yes, ma'am. She keep lying about that.
Mr. Rich, calm down.
Yes, ma'am.
I can see how uncomfortable this makes you. And I would like for you to take this opportunity while I hear the rest of the testimony to go and speak with Dr. Jeff. And I will never allow you to sit here and act out of your character or make yourself look bad, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right? You may be excused. Mr. Matthews, I'd like to ask you a few questions concerning the nature of your relationship with Ms. Holman.
Okay.
Can you tell the court, how did you meet? How long have you been in a relationship?
Well, I met Mrs. Holman probably about 4 years ago. I met her through Facebook, and we hung out, and we clicked. And then thereafter, we had relations, sexual relationships, on and on.
When did the sexual relationship start?
I can't recall. I just know that it's a possibility that I could be the baby's father because we was on and off, you know.
And so you've had an ongoing sexual relationship with Ms. Holman for the past 4 years?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And you believe you could be Alani's biological father?
Yes, ma'am. And I was taking her to a couple of her doctor's appointments for the baby.
So you went to doctor's appointments as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want to be her biological father?
I mean, if I am, I'll accept it as my own, because I don't think our friendship will never end.
So you also are in love with Ms. Holman?
To a certain extent, yeah.
What? Out of him, Rich, I know her. Meaning, this ain't it. Like, us three ain't it. I also know she's not gonna change. But for her to simply say, for her to still tell me that I'm supposed to have been the only one, and
y'all wouldn't have gotten
three of us in here,
them,
and she's still saying that, look, I respect her, boy, if she just say, look, at the end of the day, I really don't know. Instead of just saying, oh, it's his. Like, you know what I mean? Let you tell it, I ain't nothing. But yet you want this baby to be mine.
Okay, now granted, have I been with all three of these men? Yes. How do you know there's only these three men? Because I gave them these three men name. This is my truth. Here it is. It's ugly. Now I'm trying to get to the bottom of it.
Exactly.
Your Honor,
Exactly.
what I'm saying is it boils down to
Exactly.
this. She said, that was a good speech.
No.
The bottom line is this. The bottom line is this. None of them will be here if you were sure. None of them will be here if
None
it
of us
wasn't a
will be here.
possibility.
None of us had multiple sex partners, bro. Let he who is without sin cast the first stone. How many sins you got, bro? Go ahead.
We're here for yours.
Go ahead. We're here for hours.
We're here for
bro.
yours.
We're here for hours.
We're here for
She's
yours.
hours.
My thing is,
Go ahead.
don't
Can we
keep
go with the
saying
result?
there's no
Can we go
possibility
with
that it couldn't be mine. That's my
Mr.
thing.
Drumgold, Mr. Drumgold,
Yes.
I think you have now entered that space where you're so angry because you feel like because she's saying she really believes it's your baby, it's almost as if you are unwilling to hear the true layers within her testimony. That at the end of the day, there is more than one possible father.
No.
So just stop.
Okay.
Stop grasping on to this thing that she believes that Alani's your baby. What she's saying is, from the dates that everybody gave me, from what I came home with the doctor, when I do the math, it adds up that I was with Mr. Drumgold. I hear everything you're saying. I hear all of your testimony.
What date, though? It was 2 different dates, so what date is she referring to?
Let's find out from Ms. Holman. Which dates are you referring to?
I'm referring to the end of September to the beginning to the middle of October.
That's when you're saying...
That's when I conceived.
You conceived.
That was the actual date they gave me from, not only from the ultrasound, but from the size and estimate of the baby at my ultrasound. That's how they came up with the exact date and time. And from there, yes, I have been going bits and pieces of telling them, because let's be real, this ain't something easy you can just come out and tell somebody. I mean, this is not something easy. I'm not proud of anything that I've done, but at the same time, I'm justified, because at the end of the day, now one of them was in a relationship with me.
But did you ever stop and think, why is that?
Who are you talking?
That's the thing. How
Ms.
you ever stop
Holman,
and think,
listen,
why?
Ms. Holman.
I'm trying to direct my questions to you.
And I'm looking right at you and I'm listening. I want you to know I hear you and I see you and I value you. You matter.
She do. Right.
We got to start changing the words you hear. We got to start changing who we surround ourselves with. We got to speak love, purpose, and grace over our lives, over ourselves. If you got to look in the mirror every morning and say, I am worth it, you have to tell yourself. You have to encourage yourself. Do you understand me? It's not easy. You're not the only woman out here in the fight, or man. Every day we wake up and we have to remind ourselves, you worth it. I slept with this guy on Thursday. You still worth it. I slept with this guy on Friday. You still worth it. I lied to this guy on Sunday. You still worth it. I came up short over here. You're still worth it. You're still worth it. You're still worth it. You hear me? Whether Mr. Drumgold, Mr. Matthews, Mr. Rich, whether any of them are the father or they're not, you still worth it. Time to break free. Okay? And that's why we're here. That's why we don't just have this court case. That's why we have Dr. Jeff standing by, because you just don't do this 1, 2, 3. Are you ready for the results?
Yes, I am.
Let's get them. Jerome? These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. The first envelope is for Mr. Rich. In the case of Holman versus Drumgold and Rich, when it comes to 2-month-old Alani Holman, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Rich is not the father. The next result is for Mr. Matthews. In the case of Holman versus Drumgold and Rich, when it comes to 2-month-old Alani Holman, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Matthews, you are not the father. It seems like you were surprised, Mr. Matthews.
I am, but you know.
Somewhere deep inside you thought you were.
Yes, ma'am.
It's important, I'd like to say, that even though you are not the father, I do not want you to take this out on Ms. Holman, to start a negative cycle of abusive language and comments because of your disappointment. We are here today going through all of this for a purpose.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's so we can turn a page and help lift her up.
Yes, ma'am.
These results are for Mr. Drumgold. In the case of Holman versus Drumgold and Rich, when it comes to 2-month-old Alani Holman, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Drumgold, you are the father.
Exactly.
Don't go there, Miss Holman. Don't go there.
At the end of the day, I just wanted to know.
And why do you have the tears? Is it because you feel like you've missed things in her life, or you feel like...
That, and it shouldn't have had to come to this.
Miss Holman, your back is turned and your body language is off. If you turn and shift your focus, you see that Mr. Drumgold has very real tears of hurt because he knows what he did. He knows he wasn't there. He will have to explain why he wasn't there. You might have to explain it as well, that we were in a situation right back then. But everything worked out because we got the answers. And once I knew you were my little girl, I cried tears of joy and I smiled. Right? You got to get through this ugly stuff to get to the better part.